All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Tackle and Tacos, a fishing podcast. These are my notes. I'm just getting off work, and I had this idea forever ago on like a style of episode, and so I'm going to try it. I don't know how well it's going to go, but when I was a kid, it was the biggest thing in the world. It was the coolest thing in the world to look in other people's tackle boxes, like old dudes' tackle boxes. My grandpa, my dad, my uncle Ken from Green Bay. It was just the coolest thing. And so tonight I want to do a thing called What's in My Box. I wish I had like a theme song. What's in my box? But I don't. So what I just did will have to be it. And then we're also going to do the first take of Old Man Rants. Old Man Rants. So I'm an old man now. I just recently turned 44 years of age, and I have now earned the right, because everybody knows 44 is the number. I have now earned the right to complain about whatever I want. And the funny thing about this show, if you listen to it at all, you know, like our tagline, our mantra, our slogan, we say it at the end of every single episode, is positivity is worth the effort. And I actually believe that. It doesn't mean I'm good at it. And a long time ago, we had Luke Duncan on from Low Budget Live, and we talked about positive mental attitude, like Gerald Swindle. And he was like, dude, Gerald is a grumpy old man. He's not positive, or something like that. And I actually kind of liked that more about Gerald, so that maybe positive mental attitude isn't easy for him, but he knows it's worth trying. And so that's kind of where we're at with positivity is worth the effort. And tonight, screw that crap. Not really, but I have these rants, like these ideas I just want to barf out. Before we get there, tonight's episode, like all episodes, are brought to you by the incredible humans at Grizzly Coolers. Obviously, their coolers are next level dope, but also their drinkware, their apparel's really fresh, and it's hunting season, boy. They have the best hunting blinds, most thought through, most logical, I've used this illustration 1,000 times, but I still kinda, even though I'm an old man, an aforementioned old man, I still try to skateboard sometimes, and you can always tell if you go to a skate park that it was either designed by skateboarders or had at least skateboarder input, or it was just like, hey, we have, $7,000 left in the city budget. Let's make a skate park. And it's just a bunch of old folks who just plop stuff around like they're playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater in real life, and it's just garbage. Grizzly blinds are clearly made for and designed by hunters. Like, they're clearly made by hunters with hunters in mind, scent control, silent windows, size, just everything. They're incredible. GrizzlyCoolers.com. You get 15% off with the code WCB because of us being a part of the Working Class Bow Hunter podcast network of podcasts. So that's pretty dope. Shout out those boys. As Nate would normally say, shout out. Number 2, Loophole Optics. As you can see, I can't talk tonight, dude. Maybe I should just stop and just start over. Maybe the old man rant should be like, I can't talk. As you can see by the dope hat, and I got some bridgers here. These bridgers are awesome. If you look at them on camera, they're like a tortoise color with like a bronze lens. Some of the best polarized sunglasses you will ever put on your face. And I've been beating the daylights out of these for like 2 years, and they look brand spanking new still. LEUPOLD.com, loophole.com. Obviously, they've been making optics, scopes, and binos and rangefinders for, I think, since like 10,000 years ago. And so obviously their sunnies are really dope too. Giltek, Giltek, makers of, I think, the best swim jigs on the market, but a whole bunch of other really great stuff too. Excuse me. Clearing your throat, stuttering. I'm obviously, I cannot, oh my gosh, I'm seriously ready to just stop, dude. I obviously am a pro at this. I can't talk. I'm clearing my throat, and I'm feeling a little like, not flustered, but like I want to get through this because my wife is coming home in a little bit, and I'd rather sit around and kiss her on the face than sit here and talk like a knucklehead. But Giltek, and then, of course, Moldy's Marine. Moldy, Moldys Marine, a veteran-owned company that does mobile boat detailing, fixing, fiberglass, electronic installs, whatever you need. Google that thing, Moldy's Marine. You will find him. And one cool announcement. I was talking to Matt Johnson, the CEO of Omnia Fishing, and this has nothing to do with us. I really just want to talk about it because I think it's really cool. Omnia has sort of not fully, but they're working hand in hand now with Thorn Brothers, THORNE, Thorn Bros. If you know muskie fishing, if you care about the Esox muskellunge on any level whatsoever, you know who the Thorn Brothers are, the incredible shop in the Twin Cities, and they are working with them now, like hand in hand, partnering up, both Minnesota-based companies that care about fishing. So that's just crazy. When I heard about that, because I got an email about it, I text Matt and I was like, yo, what is this? And he was like, yeah, man, we're going to be like sharing warehouse space and merging a bunch of things. And that's just cool. I love seeing two companies that have a similar passion and they're both owned and run by people who actually care about fishing kind of coming together. This isn't some big corporate buyout thing, but that's a dope combo. And so I was like, hey, are you going to call it Omnia Bros? And he was like, no. So anyway, check them out, Omnia Fishing. If you don't know about them, again, not a sponsor, just a company that I actually believe in. And anytime I go fishing, like literally anytime, whether it's a lake that I know or a lake I don't know, if I'm fishing just for the heck of it, or if I'm practicing for a derby, fishing a tournament, Omnia Fishing, the app and like their pro level membership, you can get layers to maps and see things and break down lakes better than any other way that I know of. Like literally, as far as map study, Omnia gives you a better way of breaking down lakes than any other way I know of. So that's pretty huge. Socials, all our socials be at Tackle and Tacos. In the logo, it's an ampersand, like that little swirly whoop whoop dealy. But all of our socials is Tackle and Tacos. That's Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube, or as I like to say, the Yerturbs. But Lola makes fun of me for it. Well, she doesn't really make fun of me, but I think she thinks that we're going to say that and people are going to be like, what the heck is a Yerturb? So YouTube is also Tackle and Tacos. Let's get into it. The old man rants. The first one I want to talk about really quick is forward-facing sonar. And with the live poke, you can just catch all the fish and you don't have to do anything and they just jump right in your bird. I'm honestly, I've been for a long time over the forward-facing sonar conversations, the hatred, all of it. But what I want to say is huge props to the dudes with the large testicles at the NPFL for last year being like, F it, no more forward-facing. I just thought that was so cool. Whether I love forward-facing, and I run it on my boat. I have live scope, and I really like it. I like catching fish on it. I also like it for just seeing where stuff is in the water, for breaking down bodies of water quicker. If you're running down a shoreline and there's 15 laydowns, you can kind of scan under each one and see if there's anything there before you move to the next one. Just kind of makes you more efficient. Anyway, I will also say, though, that as a fan of bass fishing, I really am not in love with like looking down at your screen the whole time and like watching a tournament like that. And I totally get why the dudes fishing in the tournaments do it that way, but it's not very fun to watch. And so huge props to, I think his name's Brad Fuller, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. From the National Professional Fishing League, who are just like, forget it, just don't use it anymore. And they cut it. And then I wanted to say the old man rant part was that watching bass elite tournaments the last few years has, for me, it doesn't have to be for you. You can completely disagree with me and you can call me an old man and I can tell you to stay off my grass. It's gotten less and less fun to watch year by year. The more and more that forward-facing sonar derbies have gone up, and like so many of them, they're like, well, this year the schedule is so that you won't really see the forward-facing bullcrap. And then it ends up being a forward-facing in a place and in a lake and in a style that they didn't think was going to be forward-facing, and then it was. So the more that forward-facing has gone up, for me as a viewer, not as just a guy who uses it and likes to fish, but for somebody who just likes to consume bass fishing tournament footage, the more forward-facing went up, the less fun I'm having watching. And I think that's a fair. What do you think? Cool. I think that's a fair way of sort of summarizing it, I guess you could say. And so BASS, Bass Angler Sportsman Society, decided this year that they're just going to cut Half the tournaments have forward facing, half the tournaments don't. I think the way that they decided which lakes were which and whatever was a little gimmicky, but I just want to say props to them, because 2 years ago, they basically flipped it where instead of having like unlimited screen size and unlimited number of forward-facing transducers, they're like, we're going to combat this. You only get one forward-facing and I thought that was really copy Audi. I thought that was a super pathetic. That's like if, you were, I don't know, playing football with cleats that were 2 inches long because the grass was so bad, and the NFL was like, wait, they can cut way too easy with this. We got to make an adjustment. And they're like, okay, you can only wear cleats that are 1 15/16 inches long. Like, come on, dude. And so I really thought BASS was a really crappy act, like they did something when they didn't. And this, I think, cutting half the forward-facing derbies, I think is a good solution. Honestly, I think that was a good, took some balls to do so. And I know some of the guys like it, some of the guys don't. I thought the way that Major League Fishing did it was interesting, but one of the knocks I'll say on Major League Fishing, really from their genesis, from their birth, is that the way that they format and like time out their derbies is kind of confusing. I love the no takeoff time and no like get back at time. Like it starts at this time and it stops no matter where you are in the water. I think that's dope. I don't think it's very fun for the fans, but I like the releasing fish right away thing. But the way that they had like the shotgun round and the finals and the semifinals and the sudden death finals and the extended overtime interim tournament bracket finals, and like it was really confusing. And then they did their forward facing sonar where like this time you can use it and that time you can't, and you can choose which. That made it confusinger, and I didn't like that. But I also thought it was cool to see a lot of the dudes out there it's weird that people will hate on people who are really good at forward-facing sonar, and somehow they're a less good fisherman. I know that was all type of dubious grammar, but that's baloney. And so I thought it was cool seeing them boys still catch them, even in the tournament times where they couldn't use it. Anyway, the old man rant is props to BASS for coming up with what I think is a good middle ground. Half of them have it, half of them don't. So way to go, bass anglers. I don't know if every time I do an old man rant, I'm going to talk like that. But maybe I should, because I'm like 2 days away from getting like the senior citizen discount at Perkins or Denny's or IHOP or Village Inn or wherever you want to say. I'm real close to getting that. And like, that ain't too bad. You know what I'm saying? If I can get some breakfast food on a discount, boy, I'm not mad about that. The second one, and I'm going to do my best to not joke, because the second one is actually a really heavy topic, a really heavy thing that has gone down in our culture and our world of tournament bass fishing, and that is, of course, the whole Flint Davis thing. And I want to be real careful how I talk about it, because 3 people died. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you've heard of it or know about it. But there's a young angler, and if I get some of these details wrong, I just ask you, for the listener, the viewer on your turbs, to give a little grace, because I don't know all the details. I've read a lot about it. But Flint Davis is a 22-year-old dude who I think is already pro, or he's like kind of like that Bassmaster Opens level pro, where he's not like at the Major League Fishing level yet, but he's got a bunch of sponsors and a wrapped boat, and I'm 99% sure he was running a nitro, and he was fishing a tournament down south, and what it looks to be was looking at his electronics, which anybody who's run a bass boat has looked at their electronics while going fast, right? Like everybody has. And he was obviously pretty wrapped up, and I'm like, I don't know if he was looking for his first spot, or if he was navigating waters he wasn't familiar with, and so he was trying to see where the depths were, and how to read a topo map there and all that. But he came across a boat of 3 fishermen, and I think the report said he was going between 65 and 70 miles an hour and never even slowed down, and just plowed through this boat. The boat was sideways, and he literally just T-boned, went over the top of them. The footage, if you want to watch it, is out there. There was another feller fishing a tournament who had a GoPro on a YOLO stick, which, press pause, those YOLO sticks are awesome. That was a really great invention. But anyway, the boat goes plowing through, and all 3 of the fellas in that boat didn't make it. They all died. And what I wanted to say for the old man rant is I'm not even going to start to speculate. So, oh, you shouldn't be on your electronics. Or I've actually seen, the conversation of like, oh, those guys should have seen it coming and jumped out of the boat and should have this and should have that. And what all I want to say is I think in this country, one thing we're really, really lacking just overall, like politics and sports, and we're just lacking any sort of like semblance of balance. And I'm so sick of watching Donald Trump talk about anything. And he's like, oh, well, the Democrats or the, whoever, Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer talk about something. Oh, the Republicans, the conservative. It's always finger pointing. It's always you did this. And it's always like this real splitting thing. And I've heard different people, like I like to talk. Obviously, I have a podcast, but I also really like to listen. I remember the first time when I was like 13 or something, and somebody said, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you should listen twice as much as you talk. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the smartest thing I've ever heard. Obviously, as you can tell, I ain't really like pay attention because I ain't really put it in my life, but I like to listen to conversations, and I've heard a lot of people, oh man, I can't believe he did that, and what a terrible fisherman, and oh, he's so unsafe, and blah blah blah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, I've done that. Not the accident part, but I've been running down the lake super fast and checking my maps and seeing where I'm at and looking for my first spot to go fish. I've done that. It doesn't take long to cover a lot of water when you're going that fast. And then, oh, those guys should have jumped out of the boat. Maybe, but like in that moment, I just think we need a little balance. That's all I really want to say, because unequivocally, which just means to leave no doubt, without equivocation, Flint Davis, his life is over. I mean, really, and I don't mean that in like a yucky way, but I mean 22 years old, and he's facing all kind of counts, including 3 charges of manslaughter. So his life is if it's not over, it's pretty darn close. Like he's going to do a lot of prison time for this, and it's not my place. It's just not my place. It's not my judgmental, I know everything place to be like, and he should go to prison for a long time. His life is over. Good. I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is that a little bit of balance, just like when the Charlie Kirk thing happened, just like with political talk, just whatever. I think we just need a little bit more kind of like natural buoyancy with our circumstances, with our lives. My heart absolutely shatters for those 3 dudes who were out fishing and their families, because, in the world we live in, it's very rare that anything happens in a vacuum. You do something and it affects a lot of people. I make a choice, it affects a lot of people. I know those guys had families. I know those guys had friends. They were obviously friends with each other. They went out to, they were in a kind of a small fishing boat. I'm just completely speculating here. I'm making this up. Maybe they went out to load up the boat with some crappies or some bluegills or something to put in the frying pan, which is so fun and so tasty. That's and really it's a cool way to eat. Like last week I went fishing with my buddy Michael Mudgett, shout out, and we put 3 big pike in the boat, like 28 to like 30 inches, and then I brought them home. It was on my birthday, and cut them up, and filleting up pike isn't the easiest, so I made them into like smaller pieces on purpose, deep fried them, and then made tacos with them, and they were so good. Like so stinking good. If you don't ever have fresh fish tacos, you are missing out. And it was cool. My wife kind of had a conversation with our 3-year-old. He'll be 4 in January, Gus. And she was telling him, like, isn't this food good? And he was like, yeah, it's really good. And she was like, Dad caught these fish, and then he got the meat off them with a knife, and then he made the tacos, and now we're eating, and he provided this for us. And so like, those guys are maybe going out to do that same thing. That's such a good feeling on top of how good fresh fish tastes. That's a really awesome feeling to go catch something, fillet it, thank Jesus for the nature and the sustenance he provides, and make a taco out of it or whatever. And now their lives are cut short. And now this dude Flint, he's going through it. And so all I'm saying, whatever, I don't really know where I wanted to go with this. I just wanted to say, like, let's have a little grace for people. And let's also have a little balance with that even, because I think you could go too far with it and be like, oh, he doesn't deserve to be punished. You know, like it was an accident. For sure it was an accident. Of course he didn't mean to do that, but also there has to be sort of cause and effect. There has to be sort of a balance to things. And I'm not the one to say what should happen to him and how his life should be different from here on in, but it's just wild to know that, you know, this dude was fishing a tournament. He was hoping to go out there and like cash a check, get in the top three, get a win maybe. Maybe he knows that lake well. These three dudes were going out to put some crappies in a fish basket. And things just like that can change. It's wild, man. And so the obvious, not to be too dad here, but again, I'm an old man. I'm 44 years old. Like, real talk, dude. Mother Nature wins 10 times out of 10. 10 times out of 10, Mother Nature wins. You have to be on your game when you're out there. You got to have your life jacket on. You got to have your kill switch on. You got to be paying attention. Loophole just put out these awesome series of sunglasses that are made specifically for dawn and dusk application, so they actually enhance the light and bring it into your eyes. Just be safe. Like, just know where you're going. Like, if it's still dawn or dusk, I know it sucks, like shooting down the lake and your eyes watering and stuff. Better that, though, than to have your sunglasses on and not really be able to see clearly. Just be safe out there. Take care of each other, man. This is a beautiful planet, a beautiful world we live in. Fishing is an incredible thing to do, and nobody wants to see crap happen. So, Flint, I'm praying for you, man. I'm praying for your family. And then all three of those people who died, I'm praying for them. Like, really, like, and I mean that. Not like in the cheesy Christian, like, Sunday morning, hey, brother, good Sunday morning, blessed and highly favored. Too blessed to be stressed, brother. But, like, for real, I'm praying for these folks, because what else can I do? A little balance. That's my old man rant. All right, what's in my box? I grabbed a, can you hear that on the mic? I grabbed I grabbed a box. In my boat, in my Legend, I tend to keep a lot of tackle in there, maybe too much. And I have this one deep Plano box, and I have it labeled. I labeled all the boxes in my boat with the old school, like, clicky label maker. If you're on YouTube, you can see it. I'm trying to hold it up to the camera now, where it actually, like, you know, pushes like the letters out and you kind of feel it, like the old school, like 80s deal, instead of like the sticker label maker. And I cannot, let me just go off on another old man rant here, you bastards. I cannot handle it when people write on their boxes with Sharpie markers and it just looks like trash and like scribbled out, and this one's red Sharpie and that one's black Sharpie, and then one of them's here and the other one's, oh my gosh, it just hurts my like graphic designer OCD-ness so much. But when I get boxes, or when I get new lures, very often I'll just throw a bunch of lures in the miscellaneous new baits boxes. So I'm going to walk you through some of my baits, man. Let's see some crap that I bought over the past, I don't know, I have 4 or 5 of these boxes like this in my boat, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I love. The first one is, dude, if you don't know about horseshoe tackle, my boy AJ painting some of the absolute, I hope this focuses well in the camera, painting some of the absolute best looking custom made baits on the planet. Look at that effing color on that square bill. So it's like chartreusey with like a weird chartreusey eye. And the thing about AJ, where he really sets himself apart, his line work, like a good tattoo artist, like for his craw patterns, is unreal. I'm talking about incredible. Woo! So that's that one. What else we got in here? Oh, this is I don't even know if I want to show you this. So 2 square bills in a row. As you can tell, I'm kind of a junkie. This is a company called Nishine Lure Works, and they are so slept on. It's a very JDM company. I think the dude's name is Hiroshi Nishine. He does everything himself, designs everything himself, and some of his colors, patterns, and then this is a square bill. It's called the Chippewa RB Blade. This is the craziest looking crankbait. I think I have... I got 2 of them in here, because that's something, dude. That's something. If you don't know, if you got a bait that you like, get you more than one. In case you get bit off, or in case it gets worn out, in case a hook gets straightened, get you more than one. But this is such a sick crawdad pattern. What is the color on this? Brown crawfish. So it's a super dark, like olivey green brown with blue hues, and then it actually has a blade on it, and the blade is sort of like this warped shape with this blue eye. Oh my goodness. Woo, daddy. Incredible. So I got 2 of those. What else I got? I got a beat up. Here's another custom painted horseshoe, different version of the Chernobyl craw. This is more like an orange to yellow fade. Oh my gosh. I sure hope this is on video, like in focus. This is a Lucky Craft Fat. This is this Fat C BDS2. Big translucent bait, missing an eye. I have caught more fish on this thing. Look at the bill. It's all scratched up and worn down from bouncing off rocks. Lucky Craft, like awesome bait. What else I got? I got a blackjack jackhammer with a Giltech split back swimmer. Look at that. I never even looked at this. Look at those teeth marks in it. I don't know if you're able to see that on camera. Daggum pike a lunge trying to take away my jackhammer. But that's one if you fish clear water at all. Ow! If you fish clear water at all, you have to have a blackjack jackhammer or 5. This is an awesome bait. Let's do a few more. Mega Bass 110 +1 still in the box. This is that Northern Secret color. Purpley, translucent-y with like chartreuse on the bottom. If you've not done it, I highly encourage you to buy some 110 +1s or whatever jerkbait of your favorite flavor, and get some deep diving ones and throw them up shallow on laydowns. They work incredible. It's like a long square bill. It's a really good option. I really love jigs, so I have some Spro jigs here. The CJ Flip, matte black. It's a dope color. Bama Craw, super dope color. And this box, again, this is just random things like new baits that I haven't put away. I got some Shimano crankbaits. I got a Macbeth. You can see here on camera. One of them is kind of a sexy shad color. I hate sexy shad. I don't know if anybody knows that about me. I hate the color sexy shad. I think it's stupid, but it catches fish. So, yeah, that didn't really make a lot of sense what I just said. Check these out, dude. This is really dope. What's in my box? Some throwback Excalibur Real Craw square bills. They obviously don't make these anymore. This isn't a company anymore. And I got these for $6 at a tackle shop in Menominee, Wisconsin. These are awesome. And like part of me wants to actually throw them, and part of me wants to like hang them on the wall behind me with all my other random crap. What else we got? Got an Evo chatterbait. I got a 6 Sense Provoke. If you're going to get a jerkbait and you're not sure, on color, dude, white is always a good color. Like literally, clear water, muddy water, cold, warm water, white is always a good option. Same thing with swim jigs. If you're not sure, dude, go to white. What else we got? Oh, baby jackhammer. Oh, look at this one. This is a cool one too. This is a live target sunfish crankbait. And this was $5 at a place up by Hayward. And this crankbait, I think, is usually like 15 or 20. So why they're doing that, I got a Mega Bass Sonic Side. This is a white. This is maybe one of my favorite colors on earth. I have quite a few of these. This thing's like $20. It's kind of expensive. But what is this color called? It's a weird, it's a weird color pattern. Oh, dang it. Let me see. Here, I'll pull it out. It's called like Bahama Milk or something weird like that. It's white, but it has a green, kind of chartreuse eye. It's a flat-sided square bill with a circuit board lip, and this color is awesome. And it's got the tightest wobble. These hooks are perfect. The weight of it, you can flip it, not flip it. You can flip and cast it like 3 blocks. Mega Bass stuff, Michelet stuff, whatever. It's expensive, but it's really good. I got another 110 +1. This is a Matte Magic. This is Matte Perch. That's a really good one for northern bodies of water. I got some split rings. Oh, some finesse. This is a tip from the homie Jeff Gustafson. Shout out Jeff. Jeff, that's weird. Shout out Gussie. Small football heads like this. The homies at Great Lakes Finesse. Shout out Dan. That's a really, really good option for a finesse setup, like on a Ned rig. Or you can kind of drag it, you can hop it, you can whatever. But I actually find that a finesse football jig, like this is a 3/16 ounce, I find that these stand up a lot better than a typical Ned head with whatever you're going to throw on it. Crappie Special 101. I don't know why this box has so many crankbaits in it. I have like 300 crankbaits in here. Crappie Special 101. This is a teeny little... teeny crankbait. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Really, really small, like the size of like a fingernail. But when the fish aren't biting, I've caught so many big bass on tiny baits like this. So many. And you can't throw them on like bait casting equipment. Even if you do like a BFS system, it doesn't matter. You got to throw this on spinning, and it's just super fun. I think that's all I got. my old man rant. What's in my box? I hope you'd enjoyed it. I really love doing this podcast, and I'm sincerely sorry from the bottom of my heart that it's been tough getting back in the rhythm of it after we moved and a new job and just blah, 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 just life. But like, I really love doing this. And so I really want to say from my heart, Jordan, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for anybody who listens to this, who watches it. If you'd be willing to give us like a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple, follow us on Your Turbs or the social media stuff, that means an absolute ton to us. And that's it. We'll catch you on the next one. The next episode we're recording, this is exciting. I don't know if I'm supposed to announce this or not, but this Thursday we're recording with Easton Foldergill, the current Bassmaster Classic champ. Really excited to talk to that dude. And again, make sure you go check out Thorn Bros and Omnia, kind of their merger or what. I mean, that's probably the wrong word. So sorry, Matt, if I use like the wrong business semantics. But two awesome companies working together. You can't go wrong. So that's it. Check us out, tackleandtacos.com. Positivity is worth the effort. Really appreciate you. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.